Welcome back to my channel. Today we are back in the Minecraft vanilla world. And as you can hear, there's a lot of ruckus up there. But today I think we're going to do a sort of odds and ends on what I've been doing in and out of the base. We've done a lot of adventuring recently, but I wanted to get some base production done. And some little things, right? Like, hey, look, these villagers finally have all of their lids on. And slowly but surely, they're all becoming masters. Slowly but surely. I think only a couple of them are now just green, and most of them are masters because I keep they're buying glass or buying stuff on them. What else have I done? Let's see. I cleared out the back of here. So this is now completely expanded. I don't know that I'm going to expand anymore here because, in all honesty, I don't know that I can put another farm here, although the cow farm, I got to do something with that cow farm. So I can't believe I'm saying, I might transfer the cow farm probably over here, make it a tiny bit bigger and transfer it over here, because what is still happening even after I made the bottom slightly bigger, so that the baby cows had more of a space. I'm still losing baby cows. Look at all this raw beef. So that's not ideal. I don't need a ton of food, right? Like, I don't go through a ton of it, but I need it consistent. So I probably will um, move it over here, maybe make it bigger. This is still working perfectly fine. Yeah, I get the odd skeleton or um, zombie that isn't a creeper. But you know what? The elevator that I made seems to be working. We don't get a ton, if any, arrows, but we are getting bones, which is kind of nice. And then zombie flesh, and of course the gunpowder, which all in all, I haven't been using my elytra, so that's probably plenty of gunpowder for me for a while. But let's go up top and see what I've done up here. So last time, hey, look, there's a tree. Okay, so last time I came out of this building, so this building was here. I haven't done the interiors too much. I'm finding that the interiors, and I need to, ooh, well, it ain't gonna grow now. Right. I'm finding that this tree has taught me that I need to grow the trees first before I put the walls up and work around it. So that's a learning that I have gotten. Um, I do still need to decorate. I'm finding that the decorating part is probably, oh, it's dark in here. Why is it so dark? I mean, you're okay, but I'm still going to put something in here just in case. The decorating part is probably the part that, like, I drag my feet on the most at this point. I would 100% decorate this outside area. I feel like decorating the outside area, but then I feel bad because I've done absolutely nothing on the inside. In fact, I had forgotten that I hadn't decorated this one at all. So there's that. This is ultimately going to become a kitchen. So then I do other things, right? Like, cause yeah, there was a golem in here when I put the roof on, cause this got a nice roof. I took care of the golem that was in here because he was in the way. But I have done some work out here. I kind of built this courtyard. I I really like how big this cherry tree. Originally, I was going to put another cherry tree here, and then I saw how big this cherry tree became, and I was like, "Oh, that's really nice." And so probably I'll have some like bench seating here, right? That people can look and be in the courtyard. But I thought with all of this terracotta and all of the houses having the acacia, that if they were going to, oops, let's not have anybody slip into the down there, so then I have to kill them. I thought having a different tree type up here would be really nice. And so let me, I have a good block. I do. I will, and then that, and then this, because I don't want a golem or a person up here. And you can see I did the randomness on the roof, not as much, and I finished off that roof because I don't think that was finished last time. Um, oh look, I can see a golem from here. But as you can see, I've built out all the rest of these. I don't think I can jump. Oh yeah, I can. Okay, cool. I built out all of the rest of these. Um, So all six of them are now built. This is the largest one, so I thought, why not play with trees? So this one got 3 trees, which um, I think in the future the bigger ones will probably have more trees because I really like that. And realistically, having in my childhood, I lived in a house that had this giant avocado tree that I talk about obsessively sometimes. Not because I'm like obsessed with avocados necessarily. In fact, for many, many years, I didn't eat a single avocado because I got so sick of them in childhood because the tree was so prolific that I couldn't stomach an avocado. But I've since gotten over that. The big thing about the tree was that it covered almost my entire bedroom. So my bedroom was always cool during the summer. Granted, it was cold during the winter, but I imagine that if these Babylonians or Neo-Babylonians um, did these houses this way, that they would have trees in the middle that would help cool the rest of the house and cool the courtyards, which then would bring cool air to the rest of the house. That's my imagination, at least. So I probably will do it. The problem with the smaller ones is that the courtyards get really small, and then the trees usually compete with each other. But so we have this courtyard, and then let's see if I can make it. Nope. um, but as you can see, I've got I've got doors. They're well, for the most part. This one doesn't have a door. Dang it. There's some definite beds. I actually think now at this moment the beds outweigh. This is going to be. I think this is going to be a storage room. Either that or a slave quarter. I haven't quite made up my mind. And then this is going to be a kitchen. Um, so I have plans for the room because this is the bathroom. I have plans for these houses. I just decorating them is such a bear. Um, and then I have to. So I've started to decorate this one, and then I'm starting to put in. Hi, Mr. Golem. So glad you can be in here. Um, hey, look, you found a house or you found a bed. I started to build, some of the odds and ends, but it's a lot of work. And then I feel bad because like everything in here is this crimson stairs. And I'm like, well, that feels not very decorative. And I think this is going to become I think this is going to be either another family room or it's going to become like their um, place of um, worship that the houses often had. Obviously, a bathroom, but like it just this is where I've started is even this feels lazy, right? I put sandstone. It doesn't look right, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but at least it's something, right? Right. That's what I should be telling myself. Why do you two not have beds? There are plenty of beds. You, I haven't put in. You'll see. Uh, I haven't put in extra doors. I did put in the lights. Slowly, I want to get rid of all of the torches, but I haven't put in extra doors. So the people who have gotten into beds at this point are, oh, going to be a kitchen. Hey, see, look, I started work on that. Um, the people who have gotten into beds have found them legitimately and not with extra help. And this one has 2 trees. Even though the house isn't small by any means, right? Like it's got all these beds for these villagers, and this is going to be this is the bathroom. I think this is going to be a kitchen, and then this is going to be either storage or slave quarters, or it might be both. I might divide the wall here and make this storage and this slave quarters because that makes sense on these bigger houses that they might have actually had people who owed them money. And so, in order to get out of debt, they became slaves for a number of years to work off their debt. And then what you'll notice is so in the other houses over there, I lined all of the walls with terracotta. I spent, here, I'll show you. I spent good, sorry, I didn't want to place a torch there, a couple of hours in the Badlands in the Mesa. And this is completely full with terracotta. I have 2 shulker boxes that are full with terracotta. I know I'm going to go through it, all of it. I got some more yellow. I don't know if I'll use it. I got a ton of white. And then I don't have that. That's not mineable. I did get some light gray. I'm probably going to have to go back out. Or what I was doing actually is taking some of the extra terracotta and just making light gray out of the extra terracotta. But then plenty of red. Oh, I plenty of brown, and then I think this is, and then a whole bunch of orange terracotta. And so what I was deciding to do is that I would, here, let's sleep really quickly so that the neighbors upstairs can make all sorts of noise. And you'll see that I went into spectator mode. I did that for the aerial shot that you'll see in a minute on the progress on the other side. But what I started to do is this is all orange terracotta, the inner walls on this one, and then the inner walls on some of these are this white terracotta, just to give it a little more variance. The reality is these houses were all clay, so most likely they were all a single color since they were making them by hand and whatnot. This is probably going to be a very, very cramped. This house in general is really small. But see the beds are just right next to each other, right? Like this is the obviously the master bedroom. And so this is probably going to be a really cozy kitchen with a little bit of storage probably. And then this will be their place of worship. And then this is obviously their entrance, making a big family room there. And then this is bathroom. So there is, and then I'm playing around with doing this kind of brick for the water. I don't know if I like it, but on the same instance, I don't know that I'm going to not keep it. And then we have the really small houses. These two are probably the smallest I've ever made yet. Hi, kitty cat. As you can see, like this doesn't even have space for the fountain to really be full in order for us to have rooms that can actually function right. So this will probably, I don't know what this, ooh, that's not what I meant to do. Stop it. This will probably be, I don't know what this is going to be, because this is a bedroom, so this will probably be the worship room. And then we have kids, another bedroom, then the bathroom, and then this room. So I have to really get creative with this house because it's so small. But I worked around the tree. I kind of did some pruning to make sure that the roof fit with the tree. But I think it still turned out pretty well. Obviously, I still have to put some blocks here. Because what I did was I built pretty much all of these all at once. I went around, built the base layer, and then made the variation in the base, and then went around, made the terracotta layer, and then the variation in the terracotta, and then I did the roof, the inner walls, and then the roof. And I think I've gotten it down where I could probably make one of these houses in less than 10 minutes, even though they're a ton of blocks to place. They don't take very long anymore. The longest part is the mapping out the walls, and I usually do that before I put anything down because I'm trying to figure out if the size is big enough. So here's the last one. So see, this has a really small entrance. And while there is space here, right? There's not a lot, and I might still push this all the way into the corner just to give a little more space so that I can put a little bit more decoration in here. But bathroom's very small. This, I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. This is going to be like kids' rooms potentially. These two are going to be bedrooms. Now, whether I make this a common room off of the bedrooms, or probably if I was going to do anything, I'm going to make this a worship room, because that the decorating wise lends for more space. And then obviously, like, this is a small room, so this is probably going to be the kitchen. So yeah, the smaller the rooms, the more I have to really get creative in the decorating, which then makes me want to decorate even less. So there is definitely that. And then the other thing, minor little thing, the golems were getting stuck because these were like closer, like two down. So one, two, and then they were like in between these two. The golems would walk off and get stuck on these. And so in order to stop that from happening, because if they're stuck, they're not wandering around, they're not protecting the villagers while I'm not paying attention. Granted, if a few villagers die, sure. But if, again, I'm not paying, that cherry tree is just so nice in the middle now. It really, I really like the fact that it's here. But if I'm not paying attention, right, like I could literally lose all my villagers. All it takes is one zombie villager to really ruin. And we still do get not as often because of how much I've lit up around this space. But every now and then we still will get a husk that comes in from somewhere um, that has the potential of killing my villagers, and I don't want to grow any more villagers. Why? And then the other, so I moved this up so that the golems would walk on it and immediately walk off, and I wouldn't have any more stuck golems. So I think this wall have not. Oh, this wall doesn't have a light. Interesting. But I redid them, and then you'll notice I have the equivalent of a baby gate now up here because I had 3 golems in here again. Show me. I might put it all the way around. I want to see if the adjustment of the lights between the lights and this gate will keep the golems from walking over here and then walking straight into this garden. But yeah, it's my own inefficient golem farm. Huh. Yeah, I know. Your friends are gone. It's okay. But again, I haven't decorated this, but I did finish the roof over here. The roof is done. It needs the variation because the variation's only on the outside. So I need to come back and redo it. But I have also started these buildings. And as you can see, my process, right? Like I have put all of the gray terracotta down. Next step is, and then I've removed all of the sandstone for the walls. I'm starting to place the single blocks or the double blocks of dirt so that I know where the trees are going to go in this process. And then, so yeah, and then after I make the variation in edges, the walls will come up, the terracotta will come up, and we'll have 4 more villages here. So we're getting there. What's next? On this side of the river, I need to figure out what to do with this area. This is a good chunk of land, right? Like it's not by any means huge, but it's not small either. And so what I could do is just make some more houses and some more farmland and fill it out that way. I don't, at this point, I, Enderman. Um, at this point, I don't necessarily want to take down this mountain still. I'm still thinking mountain is fine. I know the water last time I looked at it, I was like, we're going to pave over it. I still might. I honestly don't. This water needs to go though. I don't want that water there. And then I have to decide how much of this backside, right? How far back here are we really going to be doing anything with? Because the closer we get to those mangroves, the closer we're going to have other people come visit our settlement. And I would prefer not, right? I don't want to. And what I might do, the other idea is to expand. Sir, why are you with the pigs? Why? Why are you with the pigs? The other thing that I might do, the dark spot, let me fix this so we don't have just random people showing up. What I might do is I might expand the farms, right? Make the sheep farm bigger with more sheep in it just for aesthetics because I'm really not doing anything with it. Make the cow farm bigger, make the pig farm bigger, right? Like really make it so that it looks like these livestock are feeding the villagers. They're like originally I was like, oh, I could have a butcher over here, and I still could, but I think I'd want a bigger space for them, to be honest. Um, so yeah, that might mean this will go away or get adjusted, but that's it's not a bad thing, right? Like uh, updating as your vision or as your thoughts start coming to life, right? You might, uh, I don't know, that that's what happened with these buildings. Oh, I don't need that block anymore. And I'm sure that's what's going to happen with lots of things. So now let's do the tour. So, oh, hi, guy. So right now you should be seeing the original layout and um, how barren it is, and all the changes. Um, it's it's kind of crazy when I go back and put in that original footage to see what all's changed. And granted, there's lots of stuff as of late that I'm doing that isn't isn't readily visible, right? Like I'm going in, I'm filling crevices, I'm trying to figure out what needs to be level and what I can just not worry about, right? Because it's of the height that I want it to be. Um, and so there's a whole big section. Um, there's a really deep crevice uh, as you hear me eat. There's a really big crevice that I decided not to fill in per se, but just sort of wall over. And the reason I did that was, and I've left a way to get down there as well, because there is a good possibility that I will want some sort of caving system, right? Like, and I don't necessarily like if I'm on the other side of the island, I don't want to necessarily go to the mine shaft where I have stuff. I might want to just make another hole and make another place for resources. So um, I'm giving myself that kind of option. The harder part, as you'll see in both the now video that showed the original, for the most part, the original island and where we are so far, is the backside of the peninsula. And it's not an island yet. I will make it more island like in probably the coming future. But is the backside. The backside is actually far more dunes like, um, hill, sandy hills, whatever you want to call it, right? There's a lot more terraforming that I have to think about, and I don't want to just build houses randomly. I do want them to have a purpose. I do want to have some thought about my very basics in urban planning and urban development, which I don't know that there was a lot of that in ancient Babylon, but at the same time, I need to have that just for my own peace of mind and my own um, satisfaction in how things are going. So probably the next steps, I have sort of built out the upper platform per se, like the upper part of where that's going to be near the hanging gardens, uh, just so that I have an idea of not only again, how many houses are going to be in the upper part, but also like, where does the upper part end? Does it end? Does it wrap around the entire thing? At this point, I'm kind of feeling like, no, I don't want it to wrap around, but I don't know. And so I'm building it out towards um, towards the this sort of riverbank that naturally occurs that I want to keep. So I do want to keep um, this nice little river uh, that um, origin is part of the original generation. Now, whether I keep, is there's this really weird sort of river bank, which I want to keep. I want to keep some of this, I think. I don't want this to be as sort of, uh, I'm trying to find the word for this. It just seems a little out of place. So part of me wants to just cut it off right here and then make this one giant river um, that goes out so that it doesn't look this way. But then part of me goes, well, but this does happen in nature where the river will split. There is river like land that the river has eroded over time to create sort of these banks that have either side of the river. Um, and then I really need to start figuring out what am I going to do with this because this is pretty deep. Part of me says it would be really cool as a waterfall, like flood this area and pour it in as a waterfall, but I don't know that I will know that until I level this part, considering the Babylon structure itself is supposed to go up until that point. So the Babylon structure is going to come all the way over here, which means that might be prime real estate for having another river looking like it's coming in, feeding the hanging gardens, right? I don't know. You have an idea about this? I'm open to ideas. But one way or the other, I'll figure it out. I know I will. It's just it's, it's, um, it's like I say at work. Um, People always present projects, right? And they present the project as here's the start, here's the middle, here's the end. Here's high level how the project's going to work, right? And then inevitably, your boss, somebody who's leading the project, or both, right, inevitably go, so do you have any questions? And my response universally usually is no, but I know once I start, once I hit like a riverbank, um, I'll then have lots of questions and then I'll have ideas and then I'll have thoughts, right? So I know eventually when I get to that point, I will have an idea and maybe a brain spark, or maybe I'll see some inspiration somewhere else. Um, but it, I'm not stressing about it. What I might do just for variation is, yes, I'm going to continue this out. Like I said, I think this is going to come probably, that platform is going to come all the way here and then we'll build just like on the other side, we'll build sort of a cliff face wall, which is why I'm thinking about taking that little bit of land completely out, because I think it'd be nice. Um, Riverside property, right? I think I think that that would be pretty cool. Um, but while I'm working on that little bit, right, I need to start really planning out the other side. So I think probably the next video, the next sort of base update, you'll start to see more leveling on the other side, just so that I have an idea of kind of how I want that to look. Do I want this to wrap around? I want this to end at the water. Will there be, let me sleep. Will there be the same thing on the other side? Will the other side have a bank? Where did I put my bed over here? Ah, it's over here. Over. No? Where the heck did I put my bed? Oh, I know where it is. I've moved it a couple of times as I was building, so it would be closer to me. He's he's over here. Let's go to sleep. Um, but just to break up, like, not necessarily the monotony, but just to break up like the creative space of I'm placing blocks, I'm placing blocks, I'm placing blocks, right? I might start working on that other side so that I have an idea of how I want that to how I want that to look, right? Um, because doing only half of this space, yeah, I could, right? Like there's lots of people who do things for aesthetics, right? They don't fill everything in, they don't use everything, right? And I get it. Especially having filled in some of these holes, it took quite a long time. But I would like to at least attempt it so that I don't have too many areas like under here that are just potentially giant, yeah, giant mob farms. um, but we'll see. I mean, I'm making progress. I'm really liking how the other side. Oh, I hadn't come over here since that cherry tree blossomed, and I really like that pop-up pink with all of the terracotta and all. And I do. And looking at it from over here, I kind of wish there was another pop of pink right there. Yeah, I might think about a custom cherry tree maybe on the other side. I don't know. Um, I don't know if that's gonna bother me. That tree is really large. I don't know. Thoughts in the comments below on whether that we need another cherry tree over there, or maybe we just put a jungle tree in there. A nice big floofy jungle tree. That's a thought. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the base tour. I hope you can see the vision that I have in my brain still. Um, Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we'll have enough of the sand pit over there down that we can start at least playing around with what the outer wall of the gardens is going to be. I really want the gardens to have pops of vivid blue, lions and like that. So I need to start playing around with what does that look like. It's probably going to be blue against this sandstone. We'll see. We'll see how it all works out. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day and hope to see you all very soon. Bye.